What's going on, everybody? Jamie here from Sharonatsea, lead anchor at the Sharonatsea News Department, and I've got a very hot story to share with you today. Coming up on Friday, January 25th, the Carnival Sunshine will be leaving Port Canaveral with a very unique group of cruisers on that ship. Now, you're going to want to stick around because when I tell you this story, it's going to knock your socks off. As a matter of fact, it might knock everything else off as well. Alright guys, so the big news is that coming up here just in a few weeks, January 25th, leaving out of Port Canaveral, the Carnival Sunshine will be setting sail with approximately 3,000 nudists. That is correct, nudists. You did hear me right about that. The Carnival Sunshine has been chartered by a group, I believe, by the name of Bare Necessities. It's a travel group. They've been doing this kind of thing since about 1991. Each year they charter a ship and kind of sponsor an all-nude cruise. It's really more of a clothing optional type of situation. Carnival has sponsored this before. It's been on a couple of Carnival ships, and it really goes on without an incident. I mean, I know the first thing you're thinking is what kind of a crazy adult-oriented, sex-filled, frolicking cruise is this going to turn into, and from what I understand, it's really quite the opposite. You know, the nudists that get involved in this are getting on board and they really just want to go out there and shed their skin, excuse the pun, and their clothes, and really just feel free. Apparently it's a great feeling. It's something where you don't have to worry about your class. You're not rich, you're not poor, you're just being you. It's a judgment-free type of a deal. And you may not believe it, but there are a lot of strict rules that have to be followed as well. And another thing I understand is that other nudists will keep people in check if they break the rules. Now, in this particular cruise, there are a couple of rules that Carnival has enforced. Basically, anytime the ship is docked in a port, clothing is to be worn. Anytime anyone is in any of the main dining areas and main dining room and other specialty restaurants and eating establishments, clothing is to be worn. And, sounds a little funny, but the cocktail party, the Captain's Gala cocktail party, clothing is to be worn. You'd think that would be a place where nudity would be encouraged. Now, the cruise is going to be a 9-day cruise. There are 4 sea days, which no doubt will be amazing good times for everybody. And there's also 4 port days. The ship will be stopping in Jamaica. It'll be stopping in Mahogany Bay and Roatan. Also, they'll spend a day at Half Moon Cay, obviously giving new meaning to the term half moon. And they will also be spending February 1st in Cozumel. Now, I did a little research because, believe it or not, our little crew here at Sharonatsea will be on a cruise the same week. I quickly did a little cross-reference of our ports and our stops, and I'm glad or disappointed to say that we will not be stopping in the same port as the Carnival Sunshine. But if you're on a ship that's going to be in Cozumel on February 1st, you may just get a glimpse of all the fun being had. I can tell you right now, I did a little research and I found out for you guys, so you don't have to look, which cruise ships are going to be in Cozumel on February 1st. So if during that week you're going to be on, now I want to read them and make sure I get it right, so you have to excuse me. You're going to be on the Carnival Dream or the Carnival Vista. If you're going to be on the MSC Armania, if you're going to be on Norwegian Getaway, Royal Princess, or Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas, you will be in port in Cozumel on what looks like the same day as the Carnival Sunshine. Again, 3,000 nudists. Don't worry, the rules say they have to be dressed in port, and I have no doubt those folks are going to be following those rules to a T. Now, the story is kind of funny because, you know, Sharon and I like to think that we're pretty in tune with all the cruise news going out there, but we really hadn't heard much about it. We actually have to thank a good friend of ours who is currently booked on the Carnival Sunshine for a March cruise. Thank you very much, Marty. And she and her family are going to be going on the cruise, and they have been checking out the Facebook group for that cruise. And apparently that thing is in an uproar right now as people are throwing out their opinions and thoughts about this whole nude cruise deal. There are a lot of comments. Everything from people are appalled, it's horrendous, they're offended by it, to people who think it's a great idea and they might go out and try it out themselves. I mean, who wouldn't want to go on a cruise where you really don't have to pack much clothing? When you get home, you really don't have to do much laundry. You don't have to worry about carrying your phone around because you really have no place to keep it. I mean, who's not annoyed by just seeing people on their phones the whole time on a cruise? And the only thing you have to do when you leave the cabin is throw on your lanyard and a wristwatch so you know what time it is. Sounds like a pretty good gig, to be honest with you. Now, another thing people are a little bit concerned about is, how does the staff feel about this? You know, you get your dream job on a cruise ship, I don't know, you're the wait staff, you're serving drinks on the Lido deck, you're performing the shows and things like that, and then all of a sudden you look out at the crowd or the people you're taking care of and they're all half naked or totally naked. I don't know how the staff's going to feel about that. I sure hope that folks leave some big tips, and I can imagine that Carnival is going to, you know, give them the option of being involved in this or not. Also, when you think about it, most of the folks working on the cruise ship are from other countries, and outside of the United States, nudity is really not that big a deal. So to them, it's probably like whatever, nothing they haven't seen before. You know, it's to most folks here in the U.S. where thinking of a cruise ship full of nude people is a really big deal. But on their Facebook page, they were getting a lot of feedback, and a number of people were saying it sounds pretty interesting, and as an adult, they might think about going and trying it out themselves. I'd be curious to see what you guys think about that. Is that something you would ever entertain doing? Is it the craziest thing you've ever heard? Throw a comment down below. Let us know what you guys think so we can talk about it on our next live Monday night show. And by the way, if you want to make sure you get notified about that next live Monday night show, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Make sure you get all the updates from sharonatsea. If you like the content that you saw here tonight, we'd like to send a lot more out your way. So subscribe, be part of our channel. Check out our cruise vlogs. We have a cruise coming up soon on the Carnival Horizon. We'll be sharing all that with you guys and many more to come. We sure appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for taking the time to check out this exciting new cruise scoop that we had for you tonight. And one last important thing, from all of us here at Sharon at Sea, happy cruising.